This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. Now, Alan has changed a little bit. He took off his, Montreal Expos hat.
He got younger.
Yeah, he got younger. He what's that called? Grecian Formula 44. His beard now. So, it's he's changed a little bit here. No, seriously, folks, our friend David Furones, obviously a friend of the program, and hopefully we can get him to join permanently. But David's going to fill in for Poop over the next 3 weeks, so that's why he is here. So that's why we've got David doing his thing with the EJDconstruction.com, Miami Dolphins, and NFL report. David, good morning, my man. You've had a good weekend?
Yeah, good morning to you, Big O. Always a pleasure to join. And just chilling a lot this summer. I'll take a little bit of a trip a little bit right before training camp, but can still join the show that week. And then, have a friend's bachelor party. And then, just counting down the days till training camp. It's right around the corner. It always hits a little bit quicker than you think.
All right, well, we need a hit in the middle of the bachelor party. I mean, that's
I think you're gonna get me the day that I'm flying out. So I might. It's in New Orleans. Maybe you'll catch me already out there.
Okay, I'm gonna send Sean to follow you and shit, so that way we can definitely get all the juicy parts of the trip. All right, so yesterday, Drew Rosenhaus was on Channel 7. And I tripped out completely because the tease leading into the segment was Agent Drew Rosenhaus will join us to talk about Dalvin Cook. And I'm like, wait a minute, Dalvin's not his client. Isn't Tyreek Hill his client? Why isn't he talking about Tyreek Hill? And in that segment, there was no mention whatsoever of Tyreek Hill. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I imagine Drew Rosenhaus has it set up where he establishes what will and won't be spoken of on those segments. So I think that's a topic that he would like to stay away from, Tyreek Hill. So, and right now everyone's got Dalvin Cook on their mind, although they also probably do have the Tyreek Hill incident on their mind and what implications that could potentially have for the start of the season. But I mean, right now that's what everyone's interested in is what's going to happen with Dalvin Cook. Are they going to add that luxury piece to a running back core that right now is already looking pretty solid? I mean, I think the Dolphins are fine with what they have. You can always add more.
It's about the O-line, not the running backs, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If the left guard and the right tackle get fixed, brother, you can be behind the line and you'll be productive. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's more so where maybe a lot of people would have liked the funds to go toward. But when you have this $13 million plus in salary cap room to play with after that post June 1st Byron Jones release, then you can maybe offer some of that to Dalvin Cook. Now, probably not the double digit per year that he's looking for. I don't think many running backs are getting that with the way the market is these days. But most importantly is to get that O-line working. And I think Mike McDaniel has an idea that he can get the most out of the Austin Jacksons, the Liam Eichenbergs in a second year under his system. So that's the plan he's going with, along with getting some veteran guys to provide the depth and potential competition there in Cedric Ogbuehi and Isaiah Wynn. So that's the plan that the Dolphins are working with right now up front.
And it's a lot of what I've said that, and this is our problem with us and them right now, because on our side, we've seen, Jackson for 3 years. So a lot of people have kind of given up, and the injuries last year didn't change their mind. Don't give them a break. Whereas, and Eichenberg too, you've seen him for a couple years and it just hasn't convinced you. But on their end, they've only been with him for 1 year and their year was injury riddled. And I know, because I get to talk to some of these people behind the scenes, and they were convinced that Eichenberg was turning the corner. And I will say this about Austin Jackson. He started to look better in training camp in the preseason right before that high ankle injury, and that completely derailed his year this year. So I understand the Dolphin fan base and even media members that have run out of patience with Eichenberg and Jackson, But I also understand that McDaniel and his staff say, hey, guys, no, we see talent there. We've only been around these guys 1 year. We're not ready to give up on them. And so I kind of understand both. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like the coaches aren't necessarily blaming their failures on them overall. They think they didn't really have the foundation to have success. These coaches feel like they can give the foundation to Austin Jackson and Eichenberg to have success. Do you kind of read it the same way?
Yeah, and I was kind of the same mindset previously of, boy, you really need to find something else, another direction to go at right tackle and probably left guard as well, although Liam Eichenberg was turning that corner right around the midseason point when he got hurt in Detroit, and that kind of derailed him, the same way Austin Jackson had his season derailed after people probably had some high hopes from watching him in training camp at right tackle. Then a conversation that I and Joe Shad had with Mike McDaniel at owners meetings late March. And he kind of, in his words, convinced me a little bit that, yeah, these guys maybe do deserve that second year in the system. He brought up examples that he's coached in his past, like Laken Tomlinson, where in San Francisco, that he was looking along the same lines 1 year into the system, but then that second year he really took off and then has earned Pro Bowl honors since then and has gotten 2 other contracts. So you never want to judge a guy too early and then have him go off and do better somewhere else. But so kind of hearing that from McDaniel, I kind of did come along to the way of thinking that, yeah, you could see these guys, give them this year, and then if it's still not working this year, then you know you need to move on. And then, hey, if you do get what you need out of them, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, then the pick worked out finally because you had the right people coaching them and putting them in the positions to be successful.
That's the other thing.
And lineman is so notorious for failing in one place and succeeding in other places. Yeah. My God, that is one position that really has, traveled a lot and has succeeded in their next spot, not their original spot where they were drafted. It's just one of those positions that's very odd in a way. Going back to Tyreek, one of the things I've talked about is the one thing that I would like to hear that I have never heard so far is Tyreek has never come out to profess his innocence. He doesn't have to say anything else. There's an investigation going on, bro. All you got to do is do what you're a little young, but about 20 years ago, Michael Irving was, accused of being with some whore and cocaine in a hotel room, this, that, and he vehemently denied it. I mean, he denied, he says, I'm innocent. And then he says, when I'm cleared, use the same kind of energy. And when he was cleared, he said, he told the media, he ripped into the media, said, come on, use the same kind of energy you use to say I'm guilty. And by the way, what has happened in this Marriott situation, he's professed his innocence from the get-go. So has his lawyer. Okay? So they don't say much about the case. You don't want to trump it. Okay? Trump doesn't just say he's innocent. He then sticks his foot and leg and everything in his mouth and starts saying all kinds of other stupid shit, and he gets himself in trouble. Tyreek could just declare his innocence. His agent, 2 weeks in a row, has been on Channel 7. 2 weeks in a row has never said, my client is innocent. He'll be cleared of all of this. That's all you got to say. That doesn't get in the way of any investigation. You're not giving away any information. No lawyers are going to be pissed at you. All you're doing is declaring your innocence. The fact that there's been no innocence declared at any point, is that a little disturbing?
Yeah, probably. And I mean, Drew Rosenhaus was with him on the fishing trip. We saw the social media post. So, I mean, I would assume he was a witness in exactly
the video out of the whole day, of the whole shark thing. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, the shark thing and they're fishing and all this. Tyreek Hill said he's not getting in the water.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, it is a little concerning. So, right now, it's under the state attorney's office review. I know Miami-Dade Police has been involved as well. I know now we've learned that the NFL is also doing its own investigation. So I don't want to speak on them. I wasn't there, but I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, that when you're not hearing this profession of innocence, then that probably leads you to believe one way in this. And then also, hey, Tyreek Hill, we love him. He's got a big mouth. So if he starts talking, you don't know what he's going to say is the other thing. So maybe also that's a good strategy to just stay silent.
The shame, David, he was handling everything perfect here, bro. I mean, you couldn't have handled
Oh,
it
yeah.
more perfect. He was connecting with everybody.
His whole first
I
year.
mean, he's fantastic. He's been great. And then now this one slip up, unfortunately, now this brings up his past and all this shit. And so it's kind of like, now you got to start back on zero again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
he's been out
just
in the community doing that camp.
I just would have felt better about this just slightly if he would have come out and really professed his innocence and said, hey, listen, I can't talk about the case or whatever, but I didn't do this. And I'll be proven, but he can't say it because obviously something must have gone on. And the agent would have also, because they do that. When you're innocent, brother, when you're innocent, you'll stand on the highest mountain, you'll find the tallest building in the world, and you will scream your innocence. Everybody does it all the time. Just say you're innocent, because you truly feel that. And that's the only thing that I would have felt a little better. Now I'm concerned that this may end up. I think it's going to cost him a game, to be quite honest. I don't think it'll be a long suspension, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a game. When? I don't know when this legal issue and all this stuff is going to be resolved, if he's going to be paid off or whatever. That's the part that I don't know.
Yeah, and that potential game suspension, that I didn't even think of that until I was talking to some friends just yesterday, actually, and they were asking me about it and said, oh, you think he'll be suspended? And I said, man, at first I didn't really think anything in the severity of it could warrant a suspension, but then it started hitting me. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Track record, bro. That's the only reason.
Yeah, there's part of that, too. And there's video.
If he had none, I don't think he gets any suspension. I guess he gets a fine or something. But because of the first one that they couldn't get him for from coming into the league, that kind of stuff. And then he had the other incident. I think they could send a message. And here's the other thing, David. They are so inconsistent in the NFL that we don't really know what the hell they're going to do, to be quite honest.
It's a total wild card.
They may not even suspend them, actually. They may not even suspend them.
Yeah, it's a total wild card. And the other thing is there is video of whatever did happen that is being reviewed that we haven't seen out in the public yet. So the same way football players say the film doesn't lie when you're analyzing tape, and then the video of this incident won't lie.
Well, you got all that money. You haven't bought the tape yet? What's up, bro?
I got money. Where? What money?
All that money that Son Sendo's paying you, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That six-figure salary and that bonus that gets you to seven figures. Come on. What's going on?
You got the wrong idea, my friend.
Bonus got all that cash coming out. Let's go. Get that video for us, man. Come on. Post it on Twitter.
It shouldn't lie on me. If I were able to obtain it, that should be a business expense that I could expense to the Sun Sentinel, regardless of my salary.
I am shocked that TMZ did not get to buy it. This guy that owns the marina must be the most old school dude out there. Seriously, because everybody's got a price to sell that stupid video, bro. Every video gets out. Like, this is the only one that hasn't gotten out. I'm wondering if the Heat are in charge. That's why the video hasn't gotten out. I don't know. It's just, if it's the Heat, I can understand why it never gets out, because, brother, you don't break the Pat Riley force field, but damn. I mean, this is impressive, bro.
I mean, I don't think Tyreek Hill pulled a Conor McGregor on this guy, on the marina employee, McGregor on Birdie. I don't think it was like that either.
Yeah. All right. Do any of the contracts get resolved before we start training camp?
I mean, I've really had my eye on Christian Wilkins. I would like to see the Dolphins get him in long term. I know he doesn't produce the sacks like a lot of the other defensive tackles that this offseason cycle have gotten their big contracts. But I mean, just how active he is and his ability to shed blocks. I mean, a big reason why the Dolphins were number 4 in run defense this past season is Wilkins, and obviously the combination of him and Zach Sealer, who's the other guy that you would want to settle. But obviously with the salary cap conundrum that the Dolphins are going to be in for years to come, and then having to pay Tua eventually long term, then you're going to have to make some decisions on who is and who isn't coming back. So, I mean, but Christian Wilkins tops the list. Connor Williams, he went ahead and held out for mini camp, but I would think he's got to just come back. I mean, it was just the 1 year at center, and he was great, but he did have some snafus at times. And I know he kind of tried to exhibit some leverage by sitting out minicamp, and then the Dolphins have to go put Liam Eichenberg at center, and then that's a whole new thing where Eichenberg is working at a third position in a third season because you don't have him. So that was well played by him, I guess. I mean, we'll see. He has to now potentially pay this fine.
He did snap well, by the way.
Huh? Oh yeah, I can right. I didn't. Yeah, in minicamp there weren't any snapping issues, so there is that.
Yeah.
Then it could work the other way for Williams too. Then the Dolphins discover something that they have an elite center in Liam Eichenberg.
That would be the hilarious thing in the world, that Liam Eichenberg becomes your all-pro center. Hey, Connor, we're going to move you back to guard, bro. Your original position. There you go. Have some fun. That's it. We need a left guard, and Liam Eichenberg has no bad snaps. So, yeah, we're going to go this way.
Yeah.
And
we know you did all this for us year one, changed positions admirably, did all that, but hey, we found a new one.
It's like the late, great Mad Dog used to say, there's someone with no shoes. There's a shoeless man outside your door waiting to take your job, And so, he was right. That, you're lazy, they'll find somebody else, or you're not doing it, they'll find somebody else to do the job. And that would be hilarious. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Connor gets back. I think they give him like a little extra juice, give him a couple extra million, keep him, cool. And then next year, if he has another great year, then they extend them. I don't think they'll do it now. I think Wilkins and Sealer are the real priorities for extensions. I think Connor gets like a little extra money guaranteed to him. That way to make him feel a little bit better, keep him going. Say, hey, look, just give us the year, and then next year we'll talk and we'll extend, because you can only do so many contracts. So I would imagine that Wilkins has to be the priority, which, by the way, you'll be able to lower your cap number in that first year by doing his deal. And then that'll open up the door for you to get Sealer done, and then a little bonus for Williams too at the same time. But I'm thinking sometime during training camp, this Wilkins thing gets resolved.
Yeah,
I think what I don't think people realize is how much he is appreciated in that building as a player, as a leader, as a person. I don't think people understand. You're just in love with the sacks. And let me tell you something. If Phillips breaks out like I think he will this year for 10 plus sacks, and if Bradley Chubb brings the lunch pail every week and he starts getting his share of sacks, Wilkins' numbers on his sack numbers will go up. I promise you that. Okay, so that'll look better. But to finish my point, the energy, the amount of tackles, the tackles for losses, the energy in practice that this guy brings to the table in effing mini camps. He is the most inspired player there. He's dancing. He's getting guys involved. And Wilkins has this thing that very few players in the league have. You can't stand his ass if you're facing him, but you want him on your team. And I don't think that the average fan really appreciates the levels of contribution that he makes in every aspect of the game, on, off the field, classroom. Very few players are impeccable like Christian Wilkins, and he does not fail in any of those areas. And I think that's why his value is so high to everybody, to the team. But maybe to the outsiders, they're just thinking about one stat that kind of really doesn't give it the balance that it deserves.
Absolutely. Yeah. He has the intangibles down, the that Gary Payton factor of trash talking your opponent, getting into their head, affecting their play, and his work ethic that you always hear, whether it's Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer. Whenever we ask Chris Greer what's going on with the Christian Wilkins contract, then where his mind ends up going is, boy, I just saw him the other day and he was in the building working out and and this is times when it's not even anything, any OTAs, any offseason workout program. He's just in there working. And he's even said Christian Wilkins has that his motivation doesn't change regardless of the contract situation. He is self-motivated. So he's going to produce. I don't see him as one of those guys that'll get the contract and then just say, well, I made my money, I'm out of here.
Right. No, there's no way. That's the beauty of Christian Wilkins. That's why I think fans need to maybe be a little bit more patient and understand what kind of a player you have here. in Christian Wilkins. He is as multiverse as it gets for a player. I just think he's a positive in so many different areas that he's a must sign, and I have no problem giving him the $20 million a year. I think he will deserve it. I think his sack numbers will go up too as time goes up. Do you agree with me on that? That if Phillips and Chubb really become the attackers that they're supposed to be, that his numbers up the middle will also end up climbing up a little bit.
Yeah, the inside and outside pass rush work hand in hand, complement each other. So it could also work with just Wilkins's push and attention drawing could help Chubb and Phillips get those numbers. So even if we just see those numbers from Chubb and Phillips, it could be a byproduct of Wilkins doing his job on the inside, even though he doesn't get the sacks.
Then again, ex-healthy and Jalen Ramsey, holy shit, that should help out.
Everything working in tandem, yeah.
That should get everybody a few more sacks. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, man?
Yeah, man, some downtime right now, and then we get into a countdown to camp series closer to the start, kind of within about 10 days before, a week and a half before. So right now, just keeping some eye on news if it happens, and if not, then I'm able to take some time to myself. So a fun time of year, July, checking in on other sports, seeing what's going on with Dame Lillard and the Marlins and Messi and all that.
You think the Cook thing is going to happen, right? Because I've been saying for a long time that they were never going to trade for him, never going to give him big money. But the one thing I also found out, I knew the Dolphins weren't going to give him big money, but the NFL isn't giving him big money. So the fact that he doesn't have any sexy offers on the table, I think it's a guaranteed practically that he's coming here, to be quite honest. You see it the same way, right?
Maybe not a guarantee, but I think that works well for the Dolphins that, hey, it's not just the Dolphins that aren't going to pay him big money. This is what's going on all across the NFL. They're not going to teams aren't going to spend a bunch of their cap space on a running back. They view the position as one that can easily just be where you bring in the next guy. And then Mike McDaniel likes having the combination of Mostert, of Wilson, who have worked in his system before, are familiar with it, and then you bring in a rookie like A-Chain, very explosive and can be used as a versatile weapon. It's just a luxury signing to then now everyone else just bumps down a notch in how much they have to produce and how much they have to take on a workload, and you bring in one of the top backs, and if none of the other teams are going to be willing to match the number that Cook wants, then the Dolphins could get him at the hometown discount that they're looking for too. Why not just for Dalvin Cook, who wanted to play at UM when he was coming out of Miami Central, but then decided Florida State looks like a little better situation, was always motivated to come back here and play, like the way he ripped Canes fans' hearts out when in that 2014 game, was it, when UM tried to pull off that upset. Now he can make it his home, play his home games here. I think it's something that's on his mind.
Let's hope so. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up later on in the week.
Sounds good.
You got it. There you go. David Furones, our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.